Hey everybody, Guild Wars Buddy here. So, here we are at episode 8. So we've completed Nightfall. We'll be going back here and there at some points to do a few little things. A couple of missions that we didn't do. Oh, I'm realizing the fan is still on. One moment. There you go. Didn't need you guys hearing that fan run throughout the stream. So we'll be going back and forth to Nightfall for sure. But for tonight, we're going to be going to factions. We'll be starting off with Noob Island. So let's go to Kining Center. Perfect. Kining Center was one of those interesting places when I got here the first time. I hated the docks, I have to say. I found this place so confusing when I got here originally. Now it's not so bad. And then later on tonight we're probably going to get to do... We're not going to do the Budak Byway stuff. We're not going to do this just yet, but we are going to get to it. And then we're going to go find Zenmai, which is here, at the same time as Welcome to Cantha. But we need to get to Xingzhe somehow. And I'm trying to remember, we have to go... We're going to have to start this mission. Hey, Kinku Maranu. We're going to have to do some of this, aren't we? Yeah, I think we have to do some of these missions because we need to get to the other pier. Let's bring... We brought Dunkoro last time, I believe. Let's check and make sure. Yes, we did. And now we're going to bring... Susuke. Yes. Does the sound okay? Can you guys hear? Everything's good? Nothing weird? Oh, hello, Memlo. Yes, welcome to Cantha. Where do you want me to go? Over there, Roger. When I started playing this game, Factions, I do have to admit I had no connection whatsoever to these characters. Brother Memlo, Sin, Jamai. Because I had started with Nightfall, I was way more attached to, let's say, Koss, Maloney, Master of Whispers. Because by the time I got here, I'd played quite a while with those characters. So when I got here and people were like, oh, Sin's super important, blah, blah, blah. I had to shrug and go, okay, if you say so, but to me, she's meaningless. And I never got the same attachment to the Prophecies characters as I did to the Nightfall characters. Heroes, that is. Okay, so this is broken. If memory serves. It does. We need to go around that. So I've looked into... As you can see, I finally acquired Save Yourself, which was one of the skills that I was missing from my build, so I'm very happy about that. I'm still missing a Drunken Master, which I'm going to want. Oh, hello, you two. But in order to get that, I need the map pieces in Eye of the North. I just don't have time to go farming for them, so we'll get them later. Anything that has to do with the random number generator in terms of a reward is very frustrating. Oh yes, I am going to talk to the guardsman to get the quest to go to Cantha. Although I can already go to Cantha. Sorry, Tyria. I'm already in Tyria. And now... Where is Master Togo? Blah, 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 blah. Okay, welcome to Cantha, and now you want me to... Okay, we're still in the same area, so let's go. Yeah, somebody ran me all the way to the Lion's Arch already, so I'm lucky that I don't have much to do with regards to running around or... Now, one of the things we're going to encounter here at some point is going to be ranger traps that are just stacked one on top of the other. And that was probably the thing that I found the dumbest about this part of the campaign, was the fact that, you know, that the ranger traps could do that. That the enemies could do that, rather. You know, now that you think about it, if you were going to vanquish this area, this would be a great way of doing it. You know, you just keep this quest, go into hard mode. And then you have all these allies helping you along. It'd be cheap, but it would work. I have to say the elevation of this city was interesting, but extremely frustrating. If you've played this campaign before, you kind of know where everything is. You don't get too lost. You kind of remember where you're going. But you know, the first time you come here, it's very easy to turn around and think, oh, I just need to go left, and you can't go left. This is also where you get armor. I thought this was some of the nicer armor for the warrior. In terms of the cheap armor, it's got a nice look to it. The hat's a bit silly, if memory serves, but the rest of the armor looks kind of nice. Yeah, mapping around. Well, yeah, then there's also, yeah, exactly that mapping around. The fact that, you know, we're going to constantly be sent to one place with a quest, and then to another, and then to another, and then to another. It never really... It wasn't very linear. Now, we're not going to go into the next zone once we get Memlo there, because we want to also do the Zenmai mission. Not that I ever plan on really playing here that long. Every warrior I've seen wanted the eagle armor. Yeah. Is that what it's called? The one around here? Welcome to Cantha. No, I'm not doing that. Let's do the Zenmai mission. So, chasing Zenmai. Okay, where does she start? She's way over there. Alright, let's go. The thing is with the eagle armor, I'm going to go check him because we're going to go walk by the armor guy again so we can go check that is what he's selling. It's fairly, Oh, you're talking about the Eye of the North armor. I remember it, but that was piecemeal, wasn't it? Like, did that even count as prestige armor? I think it did. Was it sold by the dwarves? What's the name of this armor? This is like, isn't this just called Canthan armor? Crichton armor, here you go. This is not the armor I thought it was. No, this is not the armor. This was for my monk. Okay, yeah, that's what it was. That was the armor for my monk. wait till Handfire gets on to talk about this, but there's an election going on right now in my province, and so today me and the wife had to go out and vote, so that was fun. Voting in Canada is so painless. You just literally go to the location. You say, yeah, I live in this area. They go, yeah, go to that booth over there. They verify your ID. They literally look at your ID, look at you, and then you vote. It's so simple. If you count the time it takes to leave the house with a baby, get the baby in the car, go all the way there, get out, put the baby in the stroller, go to the voting booth, and then do all of that in reverse to go home. I think it took it to 15 minutes to go vote today, so. Alright, here we go. Send my. Now I don't think I've ever really used an assassin for anything. The assassin heroes. But it's just, you know, it's good to have them. Eagle armor was a Delgamore rank 5 of the Eye of the North. Okay. I think I had it. If I go look at my Hall of Monuments on my main warrior, I should probably have it. Alright, what do you want? You want me to go over there? Okay. The only thing is that because space was such a premium, I never really kept my prestige armor. I put them in the Hall of Monuments and then I just got rid of them. I know the hoarders out there are probably like, sacrilege! I suppose we haven't encountered any afflicted yet. Obi armor was what? Just a waste of space? What I didn't understand about the Obi armor was it didn't look good at all, and why so many people wanted it, and then they wanted to all paint it black. Like it was a red door. Just didn't understand the attraction. It's like, look how much money I have enough. If you had enough money for Obi armor, did you need to paint it black? Like if you have enough money for that, do you really need to say, okay, I have the extra, 30k or whatever it is to buy the 5 pieces of black dye to get it? Like, come on. It doesn't feel like the right way at all. Probably because it isn't. Is there a connecting bridge? Doesn't look like there is, so it must be this way. Sacrilege if you toss or salvage. I mean, I understand, but just because something's expensive doesn't mean it's worthwhile. It was and that's the thing with the prestige armor is it was prestige. It offered absolutely no benefit. Now, as a goal, as a carrot to dangle in front of people in terms of an end game, I mean, I see the use of it, even if I don't agree with it. I remember a fair amount of guildies that had, what do you call it, mule accounts. They had mule characters and mule accounts. So they'd have a character and all that would be on it would be items that they didn't want to throw out. I kept my Abi armor for female Paragon since it was good looking. was the best looking armor for your eyes. And it's quite possible. Wait, do I have to go into the Undercity with Zenmai? Oh, come on, man. Yeah, let's do this. We'll redo the Memlo crap over again. You have 3 mule characters? Yeah. It doesn't surprise me. I mean, the people who had them, I understood. I preferred to have actual characters and have one of every type of character, with the exception of, I believe, Ranger, which I deleted to make this character. And I think I only got that Ranger at like level 13. Before I just said, yeah, this is pointless. I don't understand why I'm replaying the game as this, because it's not of any benefit to me. Not just, the thing is, it wasn't just mule characters that people had. People also had mule accounts. They had secondary accounts that would join the guild, and then what they'd do is log into them and exchange between their accounts. And oftentimes they needed a guildie to hold the items they were transferring over. And they'd do this once every like 6 months and clean up and, you know, take the items out and go, okay, well, maybe I can sell this item, maybe I can sell this item, and this item's now worth money, so let's look at that. I have all classes level 20 and 3 are mule. Main is necro, second is sin, third is a tie between Ellie and monk characters. All my characters were level 20 except for the ranger, but I never used any of them as mules. Probably should have. Let me think about it. It saved me from throwing shit out, which I did a lot of. I have no idea where I'm going. The Undercity is one of those areas that I just never really wrapped my head around. Very easy to get lost in here as well, because you never know what's going to be a dead end. And things that look like they're connected, like, is this connected? Looks connected. Isn't necessarily connected. Yeah, I have checked Ecto has gone down quite a lot. White dye are near worthless now, which is shocking. Even black dye are quite low. Yeah, that's what happens when, you know, people are playing the game less and less, and the people that are farming and flooding the market. It's not so shocking. Can I cross here? Yes. Yes. Hey, Bayo-san. Yeah, this looks like the right way. It's gonna lead me there eventually. No, the economics in this game have never made much sense to me. Um, I remember people telling stories of when they reset the price of Ecto, or they reset the price of the whole market. It took quite a while for the market to readjust after that, and then everybody assumed that as Nightfall came, not Nightfall, the North came out, that it would reset the market again. And so what people would do is they'd start hoarding money. Yeah, Black Dye is 2.8k. It used to be 11k last time I played. People would hoard money, waiting, hoping that Ectos would drop to 100 gold each, and they'd snag them up. Oh, Black Dye was well over 9k. I saw it at 11, so. But I used to do a feather farm because feathers were quite expensive for a while. It was a fun build. I'll have to do a stream where we just do nothing but play around with the original farms. White dye is now only 280 gold. Yeah, like I said, probably because some people had the stacks of the stuff. Because I know people that hoarded dyes in Ascalon. I know people who hoarded dye like in pre-searing. They would just hold on to everything they could that had any value, and hoard and hoard and hoard and hoard, and then every now and then sell them in Ascalon, and then ask somebody to mule the gold that they had made in Ascalon back into the main game. Oh, the shit people did for money. I mean, yeah, you're right. I mean, nowadays, if a black dye drops, everybody kind of goes meh, whatever. But it used to be that when a black dye dropped, it was a big deal. Okay, what am I supposed to do here? Stop the Enfem from creating afflicted soldiers. Okay, I did. They're still talking, and this is where I need to be. One's in my. Oh, here we go. Yeah, I remember whenever somebody got almost any colored dye, you congratulate them. Whenever somebody got a gold drop, you congratulate them. Um, oh yeah, black dyes in particular. So getting a black dye was just amazing. It's like, yep, that person just made 10k. Everybody congratulate them. Alright, that weird mission took way longer than I need to. Alright, Zenmai done. Return to Clerk Arlon in Kamadan with Zenmai. Are you fucking kidding me? It'll do. Well, Ecto are still worth something. Like that hasn't changed. Those are still worth a ton. So I think people should still be congratulating if you get an Ecto drop. Granted, not in a farm, but I wonder what the value of stuff is. I haven't heard people spamming Spamadan too much of people wanting to buy things, but I can imagine that. Oh, I'm selling this mini. They must be for nothing. Yeah, the price for Ecto, but what I'm curious about is the price for anything. Like, what if I'm selling, um, what if I'm selling like an item or like a stack of cupcakes or whatever? Can't imagine anything going for very much nowadays. Oh, here. As if to prove my point. Look at this. Obby armor painted black. Okay, sure. Does it need to be painted black? Does that really matter? Hey, Wotan. I don't know what... I can't click on that Imgur thing right now. Okay, where are we going? Let's go back to Kining Center. And we should try to push to try to get to the Noob Island as quickly as we can. Alright, we still have to do the Memlo one. Oh good, we just have to speak to that guy again, so we don't have to redo all of that. Sweet. So, Nargu, Gwen, Donkoro, and Susuke. Yeah, Wotan, I'll look at it later. During the stream, it's difficult. I can see what's going on here, but to click on it, I have to alt tab out of the game, which kind of kills the stream. All right, Memlo, I don't want to walk all with you all the way. I just want to go to the Noob Island, so that's what we're gonna do. A while back, I saw a Q9 voltaic spear was 250 ecto range. Now I saw someone today asking to buy for 360. Dear God. That's not nice, Wotan. The ritualists were particularly a huge pain. Where were we going? A stack of cupcakes is 10 ecto? Seems excessive. Yeah, the flesh of my flesh, them being able to res each other is a huge pain. But yeah, the monks would read judgment. Thanks, Mike. I didn't know you were watching the stream. I made you a moderator like ages ago, didn't I, Mike? I think this is where I want to be. You're writing a long email to who? Are you writing an email to ArenaNet on my behalf for their stupid 600 gem thing? I really wish I remembered the names of some of the places in factions. They were pretty interesting. I think 10 ecto gets you a stack of cupcakes. They used to be 25 ectos, if not more, for Brackenell. Right, this is where I wanted to go, I believe. And then from here we can go to Canning Docks. Hmm? Oh dear God! But I don't need Ecto. I would take it, but then I have no use for it. I'm super happy that people have already given me so much that I was able to get the armor and things. I think this is where we have to go to get to Noob Island from here. There's much to do in Saijing. Yes, I want to go. Oh, Setting Harbor. Oh, fuck, I love this place. I mean, this goes back to what I was saying about just the absolute beauty of the Noob Islands, because they all look amazing. Let's see now. I want to put in, let's see, Dunkaro. Maybe a bit too much healing that we may not need. So let's put, yeah, let's put Norgir back in. Now from here, we need to get. I don't even know if we can go this direction, but we're gonna try anyway. Oh, dude, the factions was your first experience with Guild Wars. Yeah, I can imagine this place must have been absolutely gorgeous. Um, in I live in British Columbia. It's on the west coast, and we have a lot of cherry blossom trees here, which is sad that right now because they've all turned colors now. But in the spring, on my bike ride to work, all the trees are usually in bloom. It's absolutely gorgeous, and it just makes the morning ride to work so pleasant. Spoke to the wife about like plans for buying a house in the far future near retirement, and thinking about how that's what I would want to do. I'd want to buy a house, and I just want to make the whole backyard nothing but cherry blossom trees. Yeah, the whole everlasting tonics thing was strange because I mean, minis were pretty pointless, but the everlasting tonics were extremely pointless. I didn't really understand the whole appeal. I think they had the right idea when they came out with the party voucher kind of system near the end here. Oh, stacks of ecto for stuff. Like, never understood it. Never understood it. To me, the only thing I needed money in this game for were runes and things for my character. Even prestige armor was something I did almost reluctantly. And it was something more endgamey than anything else. Which is why somebody offering me a stack of ecto is great. I love that people are enthused. But to me, it's you. Even if you have almost no use for it, we'll find someone who needs it way more than I do. No, the Germans who came on when the stream started and gave me like 100,000 K, some ecto and some items like that was a huge help because I had zero. But I don't think I'll even get through the ecto they gave me ever. I'll get through the money just because of runes. But the rune that would have cost me the most, which was the Rune of Superior Vigor, one of them gave me a Rune of Superior Vigor. And that's 47k by itself. Just crazy when you think about it. Xingye Monastery. I think one of the first times I came here was during a festival. And that was crazy watching so many people be here. There was like 37 or 40 something districts, some crazy number. Ether the God, I think, is chasing me from Loa. Oh, I have a gift. Good old Loa. Hey guys. It's not that I didn't like the everlasting tonics, is that I didn't understand why they were going for so much. You know what I mean? Like, it's something to play with, and you go, well, that's kind of cool, I have this thing. But for people to say, I want to spend every last... What the fuck is this? Yeah, but those are your armor. I can't wear your armor. See? Customized for. No, it's great that you have uh, armor. Deadly arts. Yeah. Stripping down and trying to... No! Run away! Run away! I don't want your armor. It's like women throwing panties onto the stage at this point. It's like, I get it. You guys are rich. I'm poor. Alright, let's... where are we going here? Oh man, I can't find anything. I know I need to get to Minister Cho's estate, and I know it's vaguely over here somewhere. I like the fact that in the newer areas, like the noob areas, enemies don't attack you. Buddy is some pixel action. But I like the fact that enemies don't attack you in the early areas. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it would make more sense when you hit level 20, that anything under level 20 should ignore you or run away from you. The idea that like some like level 5 bug thinks to take you on doesn't make much sense to me. Oh, I understood your message, Kikumer. Ah, the good old Naga. Alright, so we've unlocked Susumi Village. Now let's go to Minister Cho's estate. See, Sing-Jay has some cherry blossoms, but I don't think there are a lot of cherry blossoms on this island, which is sad. I would love to see more of them. I don't want to say that they're my favorite tree, because the rest of the year they kind of look kind of plain, and they're not that amazing. But for that period in spring where they're in bloom, I absolutely love it. Being attacked by random creatures. Vanquishing this area was surprisingly difficult, if memory serves. Not this one in particular. I think it was something over here I had a hard time vanquishing, and I can't remember why. But I was title hunting, so. And there was a lot of missions, Zaishin missions, that I did, like I repeated on every single character that were in this area. What is my take on the mursaat? I guess I always saw the mursaat as bad. I never saw them as good characters at all. Um, but maybe that's just me not knowing enough about the lore or being confused about the lore. I love these trees. There we go. Minister chose a state, and then this was the first time I had to encounter the whole, starting a mission by pressing the enter button. Before that, I was so used to talking to the character with the, and I remember, I remember almost having to fucking Google how to enter certain missions. So, Wotan, you had a buddy named Jeff. All right. This mission was interesting because the first time I played it, I realized, oh, they did actually make a kind of tutorial for factions. That was good, although it's quite short. Um, I still prefer Nightfalls, in all honesty. Also, the fact that you could skip Nightfalls, and this is unskippable, and it's time gated, so you're like stuck waiting for the gates to open. It's like, oh wait, you haven't heard all the text that I want to read you. Yeah, it sucks when people you used to play with kind of disappear. I was bemoaning Elf and my previous guild the other day, so... Everybody moved on to different games. They moved on to Guild Wars 2, and then Guild Wars 2 finished, and then a lot of them simply left. I don't know if all of them are still playing Guild Wars 2, or if they're playing other games. I know the person who got me into this game, who I play Battlefield 2 with, Neuralheim, every now and then I see him playing like a game that I play, and I try to touch base with him. What's Roblox? I don't know that game. No, the Lost Boy. Don't run away, Lost Boy. Yeah. Come back over here. Stand by this tree. We're drawing on the map. I think everybody had guild members that did this constantly whenever you were in a group. Roblox is like Minecraft RPG. Well, do you mean in the style of Terraria, or do you mean in the style of like Rust or 7 Days to Die? Because like we've played 7 Days to Die, I've played Terraria, I've played I think FDL. I have like 196 Steam games, so I've played a little bit of everything. You want more information on Neuralheim? Neuralheim was a Canadian who played in a guild, well, a clan that played Battlefield 2 called Canada Kicks Ass. And the way it came down was just one day I asked, hey, what's another game I can play? I want to play an MMORPG that doesn't have a sub fee. I think I spoke about this in a previous stream. And then I said, yeah, that's the one I'll get. Which one should I get? He said, well, the latest one that came out was Nightfall. That's the one I'd recommend. And then I joined his guild. That's pretty much it. There's not much else to say about Neuralheim. But I can't remember what game he's playing right now. I've seen him on Steam a couple of times. I think his name on Steam is Sarek. Roblox is like... I'll have to add him. He sounds like a good player. Well, I mean, I don't think he's playing Guild Wars 1 or 2 anymore. I don't even know if he played Guild Wars 2. I think I spoke to him about 2 years ago or 3 years ago, and I had asked if he had done that. I think he was playing Left 4 Dead at the time. So what does what's the Loa Guild stand for? What's the full name? Like, time stands for never enough time. That's the way they explain bosses. How is Loa a middle initial? Alright, let's see now. No, don't let them all die. These gardens are pretty interesting from I had never thought I'd be fighting these warthogs. And come to think of it, the miniature warthog, I think it's a miniature warthog, was my first mini pet that I was given. Who's Spanish? Jeff? Or Wotan? Yeah, I have a character that's the Gate of Anguish unlocked. Hey, Handfire. I haven't looked at the results of the elections. Are they going well? Oh no, we're not doing a run. We're doing the nostalgia series is going through factions now. That's the next bit we're doing. Then after that's prophecies. We're not doing dungeons for probably another couple weeks. It's still neck and neck, Handfire? Well, that's good, I guess. Oh no, I don't want to run right now. Would kind of ruin the nostalgia stream. I think they should do a double blind vote. What do you mean a double blind vote? Like at the voting booth, they should outline the policies presented. Oh, and then you don't know who you're voting for? You vote for the policy that you want, and then in turn that is connected to the politician you want? It could work. But the reason that wouldn't be a good idea is sometimes you choose... you don't want to choose a politician because... you don't want to choose a politician because they're not trustworthy. You know, they won't follow through on what they say their policy is. Which happens. No, Wotan, I don't want Bobby armor. Thanks, though. Perfectly happy with my scrub armor. It's fun. Well, this goes back to the way I always played Guild Wars, which is I am a massive scrub. There's no getting around it. But see, Wotan in politics, that's not how it works. You know, you don't get to fire people who don't do their policies. The only way is to vote them out, and you have to know them by name to do it, right? So, hey, Exalted, can't spike. What quest am I on? Alright, so the next one we need to do is Zen Daijin. but I think the easiest way of getting to Zhendaijin is from Sitan Harbor, or is it Xingzhe? I want to say it's from Siting Harbor, and we're going to head north. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. Let's bring some mesmers. And this is going to go through the we're going to go through the Ellie farm here, the Fire Feather farm. You're still capping all the elites, you know. I don't remember how far I got in capping elites. I know I never did it. I didn't need that title for the Hall of Monuments. And so I never bothered. Yeah, I could check my skill hunter. That's is that a count bound? Should be a count bound, right? I'm not seeing it. I know I don't have it, so. No, Wotan, I don't have 7 million Lightbringer points on my assassin. I never really played my assassin that much after Shadow Bombing got nerfed. I kind of gave up on my assassin. I mean, his pull point was Shadow Form and what was the other one? Kick Bombing. Yeah, the old Shadow Form was broken and at the same time incredibly fun. I enjoyed the keg bombing. I thought that was so much fun. It was such a weird exploit. And it's too bad they got rid of it. They had to get rid of it, but it was sad because I had enjoyed it and I didn't get a chance to really do it for too long. Because I made a video on it, and instead of doing more of that farm, I was looking for other farms that I could make videos on. When I should have just sat there and farmed it for the 2 weeks I had left before they completely nerfed it. And Fire, what are they saying in terms of the election? How long is it going to take before they call? Or is it going to take quite a while? I want to go this way. I'm trying to remember which character I created in Factions, and I think it was the Assassin. And the Writ, yeah, because you don't have a choice, right? Because you have to create them here. And I said this before, the Afflicted were a strange enemy. The vote is tied, yeah, so minority government, if it stands now. Great, that's all we need. Well, hopefully by the end of the stream we'll find out the results of the election are. In the meantime, we can kill some more afflicted. Get our way through some of factions here. See, I feel like factions had such a great aesthetic. Like the color palette they used for pretty much everything is just great. Oh, handfire, man! Some of those elite skills are a huge pain to get because they're inside missions. They're a part of an enemy that spawns at random locations, and or they don't spawn at all on the map, and so you end up having to nearly vanquish an area, which is bad because you want to be able to go in, kill that one enemy, leave, go and get another signet, come back, rinse and repeat. You don't want to load your bar with signets of capture. It's kind of nice. Yeah. Wait, what were you saying? It's kind of nice casually walking part way through a mission, in my opinion. So, King Kamari, what are you saying here about the mursaat? I may see them as kind of good only because they're keeping the door of Karmali closed. How they go about keeping the door sealed is, of course, the Bloodstone Fen mission. Is by sacrificing atop the stone to charge the soul batteries. The door of Karmali was a passage to the realm of torment. I'd have to rewatch, I think, some of Flail's lore series to remind myself of all the implications. One of the big problems I have is because I played so little of Prophecies. I had very few Prophecies characters because I had, and because you don't really deal with the mursaat till further into the Prophecies campaign. Yeah, the whole storyline with the mursaat is always kind of blurry to me and kind of strange. Like I said yesterday about the dwarves, it never really felt connected to the dwarves because I didn't experience them for very, very long. I mean, absolutely. I mean, the killing innocent people, but okay. So what you're trying to get at is you're asking about the morality of killing innocent people to save many people. You know what I mean? So it sounds like you're asking. Come on, Master Togo. You useless git. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, wait a second. Where do we get the... Okay, we get her here, so let's go get her now. I mean, I have nothing against the dwarves. I just didn't understand them because I didn't understand everybody's attraction to them because I, you know, didn't play with them in prophecies for as long as everybody else did. What I didn't understand about Guild Wars 2 was why we didn't get to play as the dwarves. I guess you already had the diminutive race of the Azura, but what was the point of building up so much credibility or stock in other races in Guild Wars 1 if you were just going to abandon all of them, reboot, and then start Guild Wars 2? I think the number one example of this is, what is it called? The Tengu. In this one, I mean, if you have a humanoid race of interesting characters, why not utilize them rather than create the Azura or the Sylvari? It just seems like almost like a wasted potential to negate the Tengu and the dwarves. In the mursaat perspective, mursaats are flying invisible godlike spellcasters who have existed 10,000 years before the six gods came to Earth, brought the humans. The dwarves all destroy themselves in the Eye of the North. I know they destroyed themselves in the Eye of the North, but when they were preparing for Guild Wars 2 and they made Eye of the North, which was the connecting line, right? Like, they made Eye of the North and they said, like, this is how we're connecting your, first account to your second account. This is, the connecting wire. This is the connecting story. This is when we introduce the dragons. They could have written it so that the dwarves don't all kill themselves at the end of Eye of the North, you know what I mean? Well, the thing is that shouldn't it be a choice? Shouldn't whether or not you are attacked by titans be a choice that humans make themselves? Mike does have a point that there is a selfishness to the mursaats wanting to keep the titans out. But as for the titans wreaking havoc, why can't it be told to the people of Tyria, hey, by the way, we need to keep this bloodstone thing charged. So every time you have a person who's a bit old, if they could, as a final act, die on this stone, it would be really useful. Or can we, like, raise some livestock that would be just as good? Because, if not, the Titans come out, or we can, prepare a war against the Titans, a la, what's the name of the movie? The name of the movie with the giant fighting robots that fight kaiju. What's it called? Pacific Rim. You know what I mean? Like, you could build a wall around where the Titans come in, and every time they come in, just shoot them all to death. Why do we have to sacrifice innocent people who don't know they're being sacrificed for that? Maybe criminals on the Bloodstone, there you go. Then you'd have to maybe invent crimes to make sure you had enough criminals, because criminals would catch on pretty quick. Hey, wait a second, I don't want to die this way. It sounds like a horrible death. Maybe we should not do this. That's a flawed argument, Handfire. The idea that, yeah, they've been protecting it for a long time, it's their Earth. I'm going to call BS. I don't think that that's sufficient justification for that. Regardless of when they arrived, the humans are people too, are important too. Their lives matter. Wait a second. Okay, here we go. What are these supposed to be? So like wolves. Mursaat probably don't have such morality. Well then, fuck them. And I mean that's part of it, right? Is if the mursaat can't be expected to see the sentience in or the value in other sentient life, then maybe we shouldn't see the value in them. Maybe to quote, oh, what's the name? There's, oh fuck. I spoke about this with, I believe, Flail about Ender's Game, about the Xenocide and Speaker for the Dead, and the terms they have for people we understand, or aliens we can understand, or in aliens we can't understand. Aliens that are beyond our capability to coexist. We can never cohabitate with them because they're so alien that we can't make them understand that we're keeping alive. So the problem with wreck of being so-called chosen, meaning maybe an angle, is that really don't have to be chosen ones to charge the batteries. They could be normal people with no set value to the world. Yeah, criminals, yeah. Why don't we wipe out all of the predatory animals on Earth? Because we can cohabitate with them, and we understand that they have a balance. Part of they released this recently about Yellowstone National Park and how wolves control certain populations, and in doing so preserve the environment. I understand the argument you're trying to get around, but there's a difference between sentience and non-sentience, and animals are non-sentient. Animals are sentient. Well, technically humans are animals, so yes, animals are sentient. If you mean humans are sentient, yes. Yes, I am judging animals by a different level of intelligence. There's a curious debate about the mursaat and what would be the best solution. I'm definitely more of the thought that if we're going to need to do something to prevent the Titans, it should be a decision made with all facts available, and not what the mursaat are doing with the white mantle. It's just such a strange mission. And Ritualist was a very, until I created one and played with the skills, it was very odd to fight the Ritualists. White Mantle is kind of an all-off story you need to read into the Isle of Genthor lore. Alright, so for that mission. White Mantle were the only ones aware of the mursaat, and they didn't know much at all since the confessors hid the truth after the lost soul. Who are they to question their gods? Gods is a tricky word there. Alright, next is Bizuna Square. So let's go. So we've completed Noob Island for the most part. And now we're going to continue on, and we're finally going to do that first mission that we were supposed to do with good old Memlo. So let's put on Dunkoro and Susuke. There we go. And let's push forward. Mike, I'm wondering if you could Google something for me. Can you look up Orson Scott Card's hierarchy of aliens? If that doesn't yield any results, might look just for Ender's Saga hierarchy. There should be Framlings and a few others like that. Then Mike, you should come on the stream. At least into TeamSpeak. Hierarchy of foreignness. Perfect. I can't click on it though. But if you could just read out the different hierarchies. This isn't the right way, goddammit. I'm still writing, but I'll get on that for the opposite. Oh, okay, yeah. That's right. Bizuna Square has to be done in 2 separate fucking things. Yeah, there is a lot in there, Mike. Can you just copy paste the 4 terms, the 4 or 5 terms? So if you haven't read Ender's Game is phenomenal. But then there's the follow-up, which was actually the first book in the series. And Ender's Game was meant to be kind of like a preface to Speaker for the Dead. Speaker for the Dead is pretty interesting. And then there's Xenocide, which is the 3rd. What's interesting about Speaker for the Dead is it's sort of like the creation of a futuristic religion in which someone goes to the funeral and talks about the dead person in an honest way. Sort of like a eulogy, but one that isn't just positive and one that isn't just negative. And there's no religious significance to it. Now, did fucking Brother Memelo get lost somewhere and so he didn't come all the way here and now this won't advance? For fuck's sakes. This is why I hated some of these faction quests where it's like, bring Master Togo to this place and then he's gonna get lost and you're not gonna be able to progress in this map. But in in the discussion of Speaker for the Dead, um, they talk about the hierarchy of foreignness, which is basically that you there's the people people from another village that they're similar to you, they're like a neighbor. Then there's people from another town, another country, that you can kind of get along if you can understand the other person. Um, then there's people from another planet or from another species, but you can understand each other. And then there's people from another planet or another world, but you can't understand them. Now, just because you can't understand them doesn't mean it's necessarily hostile. But if the people are so alien that you can't find any common ground, war might be inevitable. So this idea of the kind of the mursaat and their version of morality, and them looking at humans as kind of like sub important, is sort of like that. It's not that we couldn't necessarily deal with the mursaat, it's that we might not be able to. It might not be a question of choice, but of capability. And in it, if you've ever read Ender's Game, it's about the Formix, the buggers that have no way of communicating with humankind, and so peace isn't an option. I'm oversimplifying it because I don't want to explain the whole goddamn book, but I always thought it was an interesting book. And if you haven't read the follow-up Speaker for the Dead and Xenocide, it's definitely worthwhile. I think I've spoken them before during my Minecraft series, which is another game I haven't played in forever. I wonder if Orson Scott Card wrote any more books after the last one I read, which I think was Shadow of the Giant. So if you have read Ender's Game and never read the follow-up books, one of the reasons that you might want to is he made a Shadow series. So you know how in Ender's Game there's a character called Bean? You can go and read Ender's Shadow, which is basically Bean's whole story. And so it's all the events of Ender's Game, but seen from another character altogether. So in the way that Andrew Wiggin was a third, the third child in a society that only allows you to have two, is interesting, and he's got an abusive older brother, and he's got a sister that loves him, blah blah blah. Bean, on the other hand, is an orphan, and so you get to see his upbringing in Rotterdam, in Europe, versus America. You get to see what Ender looks like from Bean's perspective. It also puts some of what you know about Ender on its head. Bean is actually smarter than Ender, by a long ways, and for reasons that I don't want to ruin if you ever want to read the book. But what's interesting is it changes the ending of Ender's Game just a little bit, because Bean knows what's actually happening. He figures it out early, and when Ender sits there and watches the final battle in Ender's Game, he's making his decision as to what tactics to use. It's Bean that says, and this is reflected in the movie, it's in the original book. The original book wasn't changed to match the Shadow series, but Bean says the enemy's gate is down. And that's the moment that Ender figures out what he needs to do in order to win this battle. So yeah, Bean is a really interesting, like kind of pivotal character. Let's go. Yeah, the entire party's gonna be moved. Wait, why am I in the foreign quarter? Oh yeah, because I'm not a character from
Mike has connected.
Vizuna Square.
Mike joined your channel.
Oh hey, Mike.
Timing is everything.
It is.
Oh hey, I don't want to spoil Ender's game or anything, but spoils Ender's game.
No, not Ender's Game. I said if Ender's Shadow is the one I didn't want to spoil. If you haven't read Ender's Game,
Even so.
then you're an idiot. So.
Oh, I'm an idiot then. I watched the film, it wasn't that great.
No, the film, no, because there's no way they could cover that much shit that quickly. Like, it's just not doable. Are you in Vizuna Square local quarter?
Yeah.
Huzzah! Let me know when you're ready.
Well, whenever you are.
Alright, so 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, enter.
30 seconds?
Yeah.
Jeez.
I have 30 seconds now.
Yeah, that's about right.
Yeah. 25, 24, 23, 22. That sound right?
Sounds like you're counting.
Okay. I just don't want
Yeah, it's fine.
this guy.
There's nobody here anyway.
Yeah, there is here.
Well,
There's
yeah,
two
but,
groups here.
If I get into a group with someone else, I just leave.
Aww, those poor bastards.
Tough. Xavier Marek has joined the game.
Huzzah!
I'm gonna sit here and defend Togo for the next 10 minutes while it takes you to run down here.
I have 40 seconds to wait, yeah.
Oh, yeah, also that part. What? I'm sorry, I'm a rude dude.
What did you say? That was rude?
Me is saying Sodom to if I got in with other people.
Oh, yeah.
At least I'd have left right at the start of the mission rather than leading them on, stringing them along for like 10 minutes.
I'm happy they didn't make many missions like this one because the whole, like, oh yeah, like this mission's dependent on the fact that there's still enough people playing the game.
Not entirely. You do get a team of henchmen if there's nobody around, but
which are
henchmen
useless. Why isn't the door open yet?
Yeah, dialogue probably.
I'm
Or
convinced
lag,
this guard
maybe.
will open the gates.
Oh, Togo's talking to me.
There we go, guard. They just opened the gate. I'm running!
Oh man, I just pressed H to try and change my equipment and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
H is the key in Guild Wars 2, not here.
Wait, where's Brother Memlo?
Well, I mean, that's your problem.
He got stuck somewhere, and now there's a whole bunch of enemies. I'm having to go back to rescue the poor bastard. Stupid Brother Memlo, you couldn't fucking follow me? No, don't die! Oh god. That was close. Alright, Memlo, you useless git. Come on.
Now who's being rude? Well, Menlo's a very dear character to Prophecies players. You can't go talking about him like that.
No, the movie Ender's Game wasn't bad, but it was dependent on the fact that you read the book. Because the book has tons of internal monologue. So the movie ceases to make any sense if you don't know Ender's internal monologue. Like when he encounters the Formic in the book, he hears her speak in his head and they have a conversation. In the movie, he just stares at her for 30 seconds and then leaves. Like, what the fuck?
It's been a long time since I've seen it, but I don't know. I really don't know.
I rewatched it about 6 months ago, and I, in my mind, if you haven't read the book, then the movie makes almost no sense.
I won't say I had that same experience with the Harry Potter films, but it was similar. Like,
I know what
don't
you're
how to describe
saying.
it. I just felt cheated by the first film, and I saw that when I was a kid. Oh, hello.
Hello.
I saw that when I was a kid, and I knew like that film was nowhere near as good as the book. That was the first time I'd really experienced like a book being better than a film.
Well, the
Very
thing,
confused by
my
it.
understanding of the Harry Potter series, I've only seen the movies. My wife read the books, and she could tell me about the differences between the two.
Well, I'll tell you the difference right now, very easily, very quick. The books talk a lot of nothing that just wouldn't translate good on film.
Mm-hmm.
Like just a load of in the later books, a whole bunch of stuff happened where it took like hundreds of pages to even get to Hogwarts, and it's like nobody wants to watch them dick around for that amount
Like
of time.
teenage angst stuff.
Stuff like that, yeah.
Like, oh
Just
my god,
boring
this.
stuff that nobody really wanted to see on film. You know, everybody wanted to see Hogwarts, the magic. Nobody wanted to see them just waiting around at the Dursleys' house.
Hellfire, I disagree. Not that it's not a children's book, but that it has to be flat. Because, I mean, Disney characters have been, vaguely interesting for a while now. I mean, Lion King is essentially Macbeth. Wait, is it Macbeth? Wait a second.
The Lion King?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not... I don't know. I don't know.
Lion King, father killed by brother, son runs away, has to redeem the family.
Doesn't really sound Macbeth to me.
No, it doesn't. So it's not Macbeth, it's Hamlet. Thank God I remembered that. And my brain was just... Sorry about that. Yeah, it's Hamlet.
No, Macbeth is witches corrupting guy into doing something he doesn't want to do, and then
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
happens.
Yeah, that's factions.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it is.
Although there's no wife, Out, damn spot. Must really suck to
Wow.
have periods in the medieval
It took me
period.
ages to get that.
What?
Just quotes going right over my head.
Oh, okay. I hated it about the Incubus. I hate it about the assassins. Just coming down on people. It's bullshit.
It's probably why they did away with pop-ups in Guild Wars 2. Nobody likes it. I thought it was an interesting mechanic, but looking back on it now, it's really kind of BS, really.
It would be fine if the Incubus couldn't go back up, or your rangers could still do damage to them. It wouldn't be so bad if it wasn't like almost time gated and slowed everything down in this one.
Hold on, I've got to go back because Master Togo's fighting things that spawned. Surprised he didn't die.
You like pop-up Sandfire? What's wrong with you?
Oh, also Menlo followed me.
Oh, because that makes sense.
Of course it does.
Do you
I
need
suppose
more
I was
help?
trying to heal minions or something. Oh, Togo, why? What are you doing? Just come with us.
There's
He's
a classic
like stuck
Chinese.
on a door.
There's a classic Chinese painting called Vinegar Taskers, Tasters. Okay. Can we
I'm not entirely sure, but Togo is just stood there. We may be screwed.
No, can't we just move forward?
Oh, but we need Togo, and he's not moving.
Do we need? The next
Yeah, 'cause
cutscene
he's a trigger.
doesn't he automatically teleport to the next point?
You know, well, let's try it, but I'm pretty sure we need him to follow us, and he isn't doing.
Hmm. Okay, where Lao Tzu, Buddha, and Confucius taste a pot of vinegar. That sounds bizarre. Thought there were pop-ups here. Wasn't sure.
I don't know. Like I said, it might be based off of Togo being near. Alright, Menlo just said something to me that should have triggered like 5 minutes ago. Are they moving? They're in range suddenly.
Not for me.
And now they went out of range.
Oh, there they go. Yeah, they're running now.
What is this mission?
And each has a different expression. Lao Tzu smiles because it tastes sweet, Buddha cringes because it tastes bitter, and Confucius, it tastes sour. Okay.
Oh, well, there we go.
So you might get all worked out.
Weird though.
Taoism works under the assumption that the world is good. Buddhism assumes that the world is bad. Confucius assumes that the world needs to be shaped to be good. Master Togo's being attacked from up here. God damn it. Mike, you wouldn't happen to have a whole bunch of map pieces from out of the north, would you?
Nope, I don't.
Damn it.
No snowman dungeon for you.
You need it for Drunken Master, that's the...
Never understood your like of Drunken Master.
It's simple.
Yeah, but it takes so long to recharge, and if somebody wild blows you out of it, like, you've got no stance for ages.
That's rare.
Oh, not in factions. All the warriors are wild blow.
So Handfire, why did you bring that up with regards to just factions in general, or? Is this in connection to the hierarchy of foreignness? Or is it in connection to the mursaat? I understand that it illustrates the differences. Okay. You like pop-ups because you're philosophically optimistic. Okay.
There's nothing natural about pop-ups though.
Does that mean
Programmed in.
So what he's really saying is that, Mike, you're a Buddhist because you think the world is bad.
Why? I'd say I'm a pessimist, but not a Buddhist.
Or you need to follow Master Togo. You're stuck on a door again.
I'm just gonna hang around all these Canton peasants, because one of them's inevitably gonna turn into a plague-born monster.
Mm-hmm.
And it's you. Also, I find it funny when you were using Frenzy in Gate of Madness, and then being like, wow, why hit me so hard? And I'm like, Frenzy.
Yeah, I know. That's the reason I don't like Frenzy.
You've been brave enough to even use it.
I mean, I'm ruined up, and I've maxed armor, and I have a lot of really good heroes at the moment. That's why I like Drunken Master, because it doesn't have that kind of a cost to it. You move and attack just a little bit faster, so it has some impact, but it's not like a... Also, because I don't have to think about it that much. Were you surprised we made it through Nightfall so quickly?
Sort of. Not, I don't know. Not that surprised, honestly.
I really thought it was going to take me like 3 weeks to get through each campaign.
3 weeks?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I thought it was going to take way longer.
Yeah, but I mean, you're comparing that to the first time you played, right? And the first time you played, you had to unlock skills for heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that takes a long time. And a lot of that also isn't just buying the skills. It's farming them, it's farming the skill points for them, and it's maybe even making alts to get them instead, because it's cheaper.
Mm-hmm. I think that's why I created a Nelly, actually. Because I needed Searing Flames. And I wanted like some decent skills for my allies.
Trying to keep an eye on Togo while I'm just like knocking everything down. He does like to wander off.
Mm-hmm. And here with Ray of Judgment, it's very quick for somebody to take him down. You don't pay attention for half a second.
Judgment, there it is.
Woo, Ray of Judgment! That's my Smite Monk build.
It's everybody's Smite Monk build, man. You didn't have much choice if you weren't Smite Monk.
I remember having to create my monk in prophecies because all the male monks were ugly in all the campaigns, so I couldn't make a male. That was the first time I had to make a female character. I was like, oh man, look how hideous these guys are. What was wrong with them when they created the monks? You don't think so? You didn't sit there and
Male
go
monks? Yeah, they
what-
were a bit silly looking.
okay, so all the male monks have a chest as wide as they are tall. It's like, what?
Well, they went Shaolin monk style, didn't they? They're practitioners of martial arts as well, and they follow Balthazar and Dwayne, so they're all about, you know, war and all that stuff, so it makes sense that they're physically fit.
Well, yeah, it's
But
physically
then you
fit
look at
and-
men though and you're like, hang on a minute.
So who are you writing an email to earlier? I'm curious now.
Oh, it doesn't matter.
Oh, okay. Company or person?
Personal.
Oh, okay. So you weren't here yesterday when I spoke about ArenaNet's answer to me?
No, I did watch the VOD though when I got up this morning. And yeah, I wasn't surprised. So it's okay. It's kind of rude of them to link the patch notes though.
Yeah, you thought so too, huh?
Like, look here, dickhead. You paid for the product. You signed this EULA. Thanks.
Yeah, it was a bit unnecessary. I understood when they said no that, yeah, I know this is part of the game. I stated that I knew that it was part of the game. There's no way for me to be able to give you these items. It's like,
Which is bullshit, because there absolutely is. We've seen it before. There's Reddit threads about it every other day. Of people getting things from ArenaNet.
oh, they could have just given me 600 gems. Like 600 gems is nothing, especially since it's a digital thing that costs them nothing, right?
Yeah, but
Did you ever see
reasons.
Did you ever see David Mitchell explain the financial crisis on Mock the Week?
Probably not, no.
He
Or
says,
if I did, it's just in a mass of many, many rants that he's had.
yeah, but he has a great rant where he says, you know, this amount of money, that amount of money. It must be tempting when you figure out that nothing's actually happened. You know, it's not like all the pigs in Europe have died from a blight. It isn't as if a horrible fire has happened and everything in a factory has disappeared. It's just a bunch of wanker bankers who made a bunch of bets with each other and it got out of hand. So it must be tempting when you figure that out to just say, hey, just type the money back into the computer.
I don't think it works that simply, but sure. I get your point though. It's no cost to them. Like, what is it then? $20? Oh no.
600 gems, it's less than that. It's more like $6, I think it is.
Do we get the bonus? Or did? Oh, we did.
We
Incredible.
did. Yeah. It didn't take
Tell me
that
I didn't
much
screw
longer.
it up for us. Do you want 2 putrid cysts and a pulsating growth?
No, I don't.
Oh, okay, I'll scrap those then.
Alright.
Hey, you do want this though. It's
Mhm.
on. It's not on a particularly nice thing, but I mean, it'll go to some hero, right?
Yeah.
I just picked that up in the mission, so hey.
My inventory is completely fucking full.
Yeah, the one problem I've always had with ArenaNet is that their microtransactions aren't very micro. Like, you want to buy an outfit, 800 gems. What's that, like, $10 or something?
Just about, yeah.
$10? $10 for a skin? What's a skin in League of Legends, like 2?
Oh, it depends on the skin. It can be much more.
Well, like a basic skin is like 2. Maybe 5 at a push, and you could argue, well, the characters are smaller. But you get skill effects and stuff as well on those skins, so...
I don't have a problem with them charging money for items. What I have an issue with is, did you want to join my party or something?
No, I'm good. I'm gonna get off and just get back into the stream.
Oh,
I just knew you needed help with that.
you're gonna stay on chat though.
If I must.
Handfire, what has a lot more players? I'm guessing League of Legends. Yeah, you're right. League of Legends does have a lot more players. I forget when it was. I think it was like 4 years ago. It was the #1 played game in the world. It was beating WoW by quite a lot.
Yeah, it does have a lot more players, but it also doesn't have an upfront cost to it.
Yeah, free to play.
Whereas Guild Wars does have a box price. Well, the base game Guild Wars 2 doesn't anymore, but the expansion does.
I mean, and that's part of what I had a problem with them charging money. Like, you're not a microtransaction.
Yeah, you've already paid for it.
I mean, that's not how you make your money, really. I mean, it's how you want to make your money, but if that really was true, you wouldn't charge for the box.
The same problem with GTA 5. They have microtransactions that aren't very micro. It's like $100 for 8 million, and 8 million will buy you like 3 of the top cars. Like 8 million sounds like a lot. It isn't. 8 million you'll fly through 8 million. That's $100. Now it's almost twice the cost of the base game.
Mm-hmm.
With Guild Wars 2, if the price for an outfit wasn't $10 and was maybe $5, I could see myself buying a few of those. But $10 is... that's a big deal for me.
Is League owned by the Chinese government? Sort of. No, some of the problems I had with League was the same problems I had with StarCraft. You know, it's hard sometimes to find a decent team to play with.
Gotta have a lot of patience for League. Nobody wants to join a game, have their AD carry feed 3 times in the first 10 minutes, and then have to spend the next 40 minutes fighting a battle you're never going to win.
Yeah, I was a big proponent of quitting after 20 minutes, but I played with 2 people who refused to surrender.
Yeah.
Like, no, we never surrender, because maybe they'll disconnect and we'll win.
Do we name those people? Do we name them?
I don't remember their
I know who you
names.
mean. It was Lee and Sean.
Oh, oh yeah, Sean was willing to surrender sometimes. It was Lee that wasn't, right?
Sometimes. When Lee was in the game, Sean flip-flopped on being totally with him or totally against him. He was never kind of in the middle.
I hated the city. I had absolutely no inclination towards the city when I got here from Nightfall.
You'll be hard pressed to find somebody who actually liked the city, though. Like, there were people who said it was alright. Like me, I think it's alright. But it went from alright to I'm not enjoying this.
ERAM, that's all random, all middle, I think, in League of Legends. I mean, during special events, I didn't mind playing other game types, but considering you're only really judged on the one game type, I prefer to get practice in that. I think this is the 3rd time or 4th time I go through this area killing these same enemies.
Think of it from an immersion standpoint. The plague keeps spreading or something.
But it's not the plague, I'm fighting the Jade Brotherhood.
They're a sort of a plague. Well, there's a quest. I don't know if it's the Amphat or the Jade Brotherhood, but they've got the Chalice of Corruption, and they're basically making plague monsters themselves.
I think I did that quest when I chased down Zenmai. You get to a point where there's so that was earlier in the episode, so probably see it tomorrow. Yeah, there's like tourists around a fire and they've been led there, and you have to stop them from creating more corrupt, afflicted soldiers.
So that friend I had that bought factions only for Flesh Golem, he went into factions. I think you get it in this area, maybe? If it's not this area, it's one like adjacent to it. He got, into Vizuna Square, into Book Deck Byway, captured Flesh Golem, and never played any more of factions.
But you heard me in one of the earlier streams, right? That I remember people writing me on the YouTube channel and saying, "Oh, by the way, I stopped playing that game when I hit level 20."
Yeah, Well, he didn't stop playing the game, he just stopped playing factions. He went right back to prophecies. And he finished prophecies, he got some way through Nightfall, but never touched factions again.
He knew what he was in for. It was like, nope, I like prophecies, screw everything else. I like to think I played a little bit of everything. That I went around and I think I got a nice wide canvas of Guild Wars, never really focusing on any one thing. Like I didn't sit there and farm foe for hours.
Yeah, that would be the only thing that I didn't do. I never got the whole look at my big EP and look at how many times I farmed Fisher Woe solo on my assassin, lol 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 lol.
You mean what was happening earlier in the stream?
Oh, was that happening?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, I never got that.
I completely forgot that term, EPing. It's been a while since I've heard it.
Glad to bring it back.
This is my least favorite map, I think, in the whole game. Yeah, this is definitely my least favorite map.
But why?
Because you get lost in it all the time.
I don't remember what I would call my least favourite.
I mean, there are parts of the Jade Sea I'm not a huge fan of. There are parts of the Amber Forest that I'm not a huge fan of. Some of it is because of enemies, some of them is because of just the geography. There's huge chunks of prophecies I hate because of the distribution of enemies and the...
I think Prophecies was just way too slow. It was my first campaign, so I didn't really notice it. But then playing Factions next, I was like, wow, I'm level 20 within a day.
Mm-hmm. Well, this goes back to the whole, black tinted obby armor. And how it's something I don't get.
Because black dye usually looked good?
No, that's not why.
Well, could you imagine... I didn't like the warrior obsidian armor anyway, but could you imagine those black spikes being red? Could you imagine that? I don't think that would look good at all.
Well, I remember Neuralheim, which I spoke about earlier in the feed, his goal in Guild Wars was to get a tormented shield, a tormented axe, and a set of... I don't think it was obby armor. There was a set of armor that he wanted. It was primeval armor. Primeval armor painted pink.
Pink on a warrior?
Yeah, because of the tormented shield and the tormented axe.
Oh yeah. Okay.
That was like his goal. He did it. And I think to this day it's still his like avatar in a lot of games.
My Paragon, I was trying to think of the name of the profession there. My Paragon has obsidian armor, dyed black and yellow. Because yellow on its own was way too bright, it was too much of a, what's the word? Not matte. Too much of a glossy looking colour. But the black added a depth to it, so That's how I justify that.
Chaos gloves was another thing I never fully understood.
Somebody gave me Chaos Gloves, so I was just like, okay, fine, I'll buy them. But I mean, it didn't offer any kind of advantage. In fact, if anything, it made me waste money on obsidian armor, because I now have obsidian gloves that I don't do anything with.
Well, earlier on in the stream, somebody tried to give me a stack of ecto, but yeah, I turned it down because what am I gonna do with this?
Watching.
What am I gonna do with a stack of ecto? There are people out there that need it more than I do. And I've reached a dead end full of enemies. Huzzah!
Came into the wrong neighborhood. Except that it isn't, because it's in Cantha. It's a terrible day.
No, yeah. One of the AI mechanics they should have added to hard mode is that your aggro bubble doubles in size when you're fighting an enemy.
No.
Yeah.
Why? Why punish people so?
So that when you start fighting an enemy, enemies, like the aggro doubles, so the sound of battle attracts enemies towards you. That would have been cool. I think that would have worked.
Mechanically, in one sense, yes. In terms of beating anything, no.
It would have forced them to redesign some maps so it wouldn't be too overpowered in some areas, but I think it could have worked.
Well, yeah, mounts could have worked. We could all suggest crazy things, Ig.
What would be the point of mounts?
Dunno, but they added them in. They added them in the desert, didn't they?
Oh, you mean the worms?
The worms. They are mounts. Let's be honest.
Hmm.
I don't know. People like mounts. It's just another thing to show off, isn't it?
Yeah, like the mini pets. What was really funny was the first mini pet I was ever given was a warthog, and the warthogs were like almost everybody had a whole bunch of them.
Several of them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so they ended up giving me a huge amount of warthogs. I forget, like somebody was like throwing them away, and I had nothing in my inventory to really take up space. So I kept, I think it was 9 warthogs or something. And then there was an event where you could turn in warthog minis for celestial warthogs. Do you remember what I'm talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about, and I was a huge scumbag to somebody. I had given them one, and this person barely played. I'd just given one because I had tons. But then I didn't have enough to get the celestial one because I think you needed 5. I had 4.
Oh, was it 5? Okay.
So I had to go and take that one back off them, and I felt so bad. course, now you can get them every year. They're just available. You can just pick any celestial thing that you want.
My stream is starting to, not my stream, but the game is starting to lag spike like crazy. 1500 millisecond spikes. I think it's all the traps and all the minions and all the particle effects.
The way you described it yesterday, the day before, I lose track of time. With them reducing the amount of servers, you make it sound like they're actively reducing the amount of servers. I think they've already done that. If there's any distinction to be made there.
There's not much distinction to be made there. I meant they've reduced. Past tense, like it's already done. But I could see them continuing to do so. Like I could see them going like, look, the population base is now below 1,000. I'd be curious to see what the numbers are. How many people log in once a week? I average that per day.
I'd be curious about the same thing for Guild Wars 2. But they never tell us anything like that.
There's gotta be a website that keeps track of that shit.
I mean, maybe you could work it out in some really convoluted way through Guild Wars 2 efficiency, but I don't know how.
What's the next mission? Napui Quarter? Oh yeah, Napui Quarter. Loud Coup. If I remember correctly, I have to come back here. Like, this guy won't let me in. Oh yeah, we do.
We're farming vermin out of here.
Farming what?
Vermin. There were these big scale things, they were assassins. They just bunched up, and I can't remember what builds worked for them, but it was, I think a lot of warrior builds worked, like triple chops and things like that.
This mission is a huge pain in the ass, I remember that much.
But it won't be.
No? Okay. Which one do I go through again? Middle, left, right?
Oh, I don't know.
This mission really confused me. I'm just gonna go through this one because reasons. Oh fuck.
So why did it confuse you?
Oh, because of just trying to find, like, I have to kill what in what order, why?
There was an optimal order to it, but there is no, like, defined order.
And each time you kill one, more of them, the other, that one that you killed spawns.
Right, so you didn't want to kill the dragon or the turtle too quickly, because those guys were tough.
I like the celestial skins, like the weapons. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what we farmed vermin for.
Oh.
Remember the sword? In fact, have you got a celestial bow?
Yeah, I have a celestial bow.
I wondered what that skin was. Yeah, the bow was nice, the sword was nice, the shield was okay.
I think I got this bow during we were helping somebody get through factions. I think it was somebody who joined the guild who had never finished any of the campaigns and never had a factions character. And then when we got here, I got that drop, and that just became my one of the bows I carried around.
Is it a short bow or is it a long bow?
It's a longbow.
Okay, it's just because the way you pull stuff is usually like the silliest thing ever to watch from like a technical standpoint.
Well, because I'm not
'Cause,
serious about doing it. I'm not.
Yeah, but the fact that you take the time to swap to the bow and ping somebody and then run into melee range anyway. It's like, why bother? You know, I was half expecting you to do it to the very next mob you came across, but you didn't.
No point in pulling around here. But to me, some items hold value simply because I obtained them in an interesting way, or, you know, they were given to me by someone. So if you look at my inventory, almost all of the skins I keep are all warrior based. Because that's how it was like somebody gave me that skin, or I traded it with someone else for that, for a farm, or, you know. So on this
Yeah,
warrior, the greens that I'm getting completing the campaign as part of the nostalgia series, and that is a big spider on my wall.
That's not distracting at all.
Nah, it's fine. It's funny because yesterday I was talking about exposure therapy.
Yeah, nope. Nope. Was it just coincidence that they called it flooding with your thing with the
No,
drowning?
no. Well, me, it's not drowning. It's that I was waterboarded, so I had a it
Oh, jeez. Okay.
the trigger was water, but it was also the fact that I had problems with putting on firefighting equipment. So as part of my job, I have to be able to don emergency equipment, and I was finding it constraining, and it was limiting my breathing. It was making me have a panic attack, essentially. Which
Not great.
would have been fine. I could have dealt with that on my own, and I would have been fine. But then it started to get worse and worse and worse to the point that if I was wearing tight boots, I was having the feeling of drowning, which is just terrifying.
Yeah, that's quite extreme.
And then I went, you know what? I think somebody's got to help me with this one because this is not fun. So then it was, okay, so what would make you kind of like have a panic attack but not? Like so what you do is you judge your anxiety level. So you go, okay, well, how anxious are you sitting in this room right now? And then you say, well, this is about a 0. Okay, what if we made you wear your boots really tight? What would your anxiety level be? That'd be like a 10. Okay, what if we did that and we put a gas mask on you? That'd be a lot higher, so that'd be like a 50. Okay, so what's a 25? I was like, oh, well, maybe watching someone get waterboarded would probably be a 25 for me. I was okay, well, here's what you're going to do. You're going to go home and you're going to watch people get waterboarded.
Can we not do that?
So I went home and I watched Christopher Hitchens being waterboarded. I watched
Why?
and a whole bunch of videos of people being drowned or being forced underwater. There's a scene in what was the movie? The Constantine, where he drowns the female character. So I did that until my anxiety level watching it was essentially 0. And then we could continue to do this until I could wear all the equipment on and not have any kind of reaction to it. It works. It really does. It has a success rate of about 80%.
I'd rather not have that work, to be honest. I'd rather not be comfortable with that sort of thing.
No, but the thing is that I have to be able to put on, let's say...
Well, yeah, you do, but I don't, so... you live in your crazy world and I live in mine.
But let's say you were anxious about spiders, okay? But you don't need to work around spiders, so it doesn't matter. But if you were afraid of crowds, which means you can't leave the house, like agoraphobics are, then that's something that you have to find a way past. And flooding would probably not work in that circumstance, but that build up towards it. So like, okay, what's less than a panic attack if you were to go into a crowd? So a crowd, let's say that's 100. That's the worst thing you could possibly do. What's below that? So for the agoraphobic, it might be, well, taking a walk around in this particular park would be like a 20. Like, it wouldn't get me super anxious, but I wouldn't be comfortable. It's like, okay, well then step 1 is go to that park and take that walk and keep doing it until you are no longer anxious about that walk around the park. And so on and so forth, and building up to... Yeah, it's called exposure therapy. And now what's really good is for soldiers coming back from war zones in order to deal with post-traumatic stress disorder, they use virtual reality. Because you can put them into
I've heard of that.
Yeah, they can actually put them in like almost war-like scenarios, but there's no real danger. And you can gradually make them okay with that again.
Well, VR's been used for all sorts of things nowadays.
Yeah. No, it's great.
It's been used for like audio therapy and stuff like that.
What's audio therapy?
Maybe not therapy, but like you know when you test kids' hearing, you get tones and you have to like tick stuff and whatever.
Yeah, my son got tested for that when he was born.
They're now starting to use VR for that because it's easier to make kids do. I don't know. I heard about this fairly recently, and honestly I stopped paying attention halfway through the conversation because it was really hard to follow.
Completely forgot that the map on this actually worked. It indicated kind of like where you need to go. Okay, so I need to go. Can I go this way and around? Let's try.
Oh, I don't know, I've just been watching you go around in circles for the past few minutes. I don't know where to go either. I remember doing this back in the day though, and I'd be just... my patience would wear thin so quickly if somebody was insistent on going the wrong way. Like, yeah, I've done this mission 18 times and all my characters know exactly how I'm doing it and where I'm going and whatever. So why are you going the wrong way then? Shut up, kicked. Or more often than not, the arrogant guy would be the monk, and then the monk would just leave because you've called him out on his wrongness.
Oh man, I remember when monks had so much power to be able to do that. I can imagine that prior to heroes, that must have been like a real threat.
Yep, it was not good.
Yeah, I remember when we did the deep once with the guild, and we had like 4 pugs, and then like 2 of the pugs left. And we ended up finishing it, I think, with like 8 people by the end. Somebody had like DC'd, we had already 2 of them gone. Yeah, it was horrible.
Was I there then? Because I remember one like that.
You might have been, yeah.
I certainly remember struggling. Am I drunk? Struggling through one of the shadow areas where there's just a lot of shadows.
Mm-hmm.
And plants. And just being like, oh my god, where's all the damage? With the introduction of heroes though, that brought a lot of people that thought they knew what they were doing and didn't.
Why do you think that is?
Where,
Expand on that.
well, for example, two examples I've got. One is the example where you go into a mission and the party starts filling up, and you're like, hey guys, we need Dunkoro for this mission. Make sure you don't pick an 8th character, or make sure we get 1 monk. Make sure we don't get too many of the other stuff or whatever. Like, save a spot for Dunkoro.
Mm-hmm.
And then we'd get 2 monks in the team, and then the party would fill, and it'd be like, alright, we need to kick somebody, because we can't even start this without Dunkoro. But nobody wanted to kick the other monks, so we ended up with 3 monks for a lot of those missions.
Which can be fine if one of them goes smite. Right?
But nobody ever did. So it was just a wasted character slot. And it was usually a wasted character slot because the other example would be, oh, well, we need to fill a slot and we can't find a person, so we'll just use a hero. But nobody's heroes was ever running any good builds, ever. You'd see, oh, well, I'll just add Kos, and Kos would be running like an obsidian flesh tank build, and it's like, he can't do that, he's not smart enough, the AI isn't there.
It's a great build, shut up.
This build works fine, I've watched it.
Pug group's always interesting.
Or, like a mission where there's constant, adrenaline denial, and then they'd add like a dervish or a warrior running entirely on adrenaline skills, and you'd be like, you know, this won't work, and they won't listen, they won't have it. Or a destroyer mission, and they add a hero that has Searing Flames, and you're like, no, you can't.
I remember.
You can't possibly be that dumb.
I remember making my video about how to tank, and a big part of that was basically how to play a warrior character. And I remember making a video about balance, about explaining the difference between an energy heavy build and an adrenaline heavy build, and why you might want one or the other. And the comments just got fucking stupid real quick. Same thing with armor rating. My video on armor rating got so much hate for no reason.
The reason was because you were making a how to tank as a warrior build video.
Mm-hmm.
In the time where the only acceptable tanks to most people were Shadow Form Assassins.
Oh yeah, I know, but and I think I addressed that in the video. I say something to the effect of, "This is how to do it with a warrior." I'm specifically talking with a warrior.
Yeah. I mean, you're not wrong, it's just that the prevailing attitude of the time was that assassins do it best no matter what, and that wasn't necessarily true all the time. Like, an assassin can't tank point blank AoE, for example, because it's not targeted, so it would just go straight through Shadow Form. Things like that.
Mm-hmm. When I explained armor rating, I remember I showed damage reduction. A lot of people are like, yeah, but I can use this skill which makes me evade damage, therefore I'm a better tank. I was like, that's not what I'm talking about?
Yeah, that would have been Rangers, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Rangers needed something, man. All you would have needed to have said there would be, if you're a Ranger, you're better at tanking elemental damage than I am as a warrior.
No, but the point wasn't talking about...
No, that's purely armor rating. They inherently have 70 armor, plus 30 against elemental, just built in.
Yeah.
Whereas warriors it's 80 plus 20 physical.
I'm losing more and more of my stream audience. Sometimes I think what I talk about gets annoys people.
I know. I'm wondering if it's me.
No, it's not you. But I have things I say about Rangers.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Don't insult people's favourite profession. I mean, Ranger's one of my favourite professions, but I get what people say about it. I understand why people hate it so much. The main problem with Ranger that I had was that it didn't really have a place in a team after, like, Nightfall.
What do you mean?
Because you had two healers usually, or a healer and a protection.
Yeah.
You had some kind of frontline tanky sort of character.
Mm-hmm.
Then you had some casters, let's say 2 or 3.
2.
So that's 6. And then you had maybe a Mesmer and maybe a Ranger. And then you had Ripped Assassins and Paragons and Dervishes, and it was very muddy. And Rangers didn't do anything particularly better than any other class.
Oh, seriously? That's the end of the mission? Oh fuck, I thought that went on for a little while longer.
Yeah, told you, man, no problem.
Yay! I think I even got the bonus. Alright, Adept Kai. We gotta go to Tenagai Temple.
I seem to remember this being a long walk.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a long walk because you can get lost. And
I think it might be a long walk anyway.
And I think this is where you get Flesh Golem. I think it's in this area. If it's not here where you get Flesh Golem, there's definitely an elite skill here that I remember getting from my Necro. Or maybe it's this guy. What elite skill do you have, Rit?
Guile the Bone Dancer in Zawang Skyway. It's Flesh Golem.
Oh, okay, so it is this area with Flesh Golem. So this is where your buddy got to.
Yeah, I guess.
See, Factions was one of those campaigns that I don't remember helping a lot of guildies through. I remember people helping people to Jade Sea and Deep. Like the occasional mission, but like the actual campaign.
The campaign was relatively simple for Factions. I definitely helped a lot of the Kurzig and Luxon missions because just people did not know the tricks to those. You can't blame them because the tricks were really obscure.
Hmm.
Like in, is it Guyala Hatchery? Where you just run away immediately
Yep.
and then kill everything from the back of the map forwards.
If you wanted the bonus, yes.
That was such a weird mission.
Yeah, but it was the only
I've
way.
never done that legitimately either.
I have, but not with the bonus.
Well, I mean, I may have done it legit without the bonus, but knowing the way I play, I would have looked up the bonus to begin with and gone, oh no, I'm not going to waste my time doing this without. The Jade Brotherhood used to be way more effective though, with their double dragons.
What do you think lowered their
'Cause they-
effectiveness?
Well, Double Dragon got changed. You see it now, it's a thing that they cast on their allies and they both get rings of fire on them.
Mm-hmm.
It used to just be a big hit of damage that was like... They only changed it because it was like every other fire skill ever, just a big hit of damage. Now it was unique.
Was that the change, the part of the Ellie air magic revamp?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it was an everything magic revamp. The whole class revamp.
Yeah. We talked a lot about that when it came out.
We did. We got an hour-long podcast on it.
One of my buddies. The reason I should probably talk about the origin of this stream and why we're streaming. I think this is the guy that does the spell. We're getting close. So it's a guy at work. I was coming into work to hand in a memo, and he said something. Maybe you can answer this question. How do I edit a video? I can't seem to get this to work properly. I said, oh, what are you editing in? And then we started talking about it. I said, why are you editing video? Is it for YouTube, for Twitch, for what? And he goes, oh, I'm streaming on Twitch, and I'm then using the videos, and I'm making a channel. I said, oh, that's cool. And I asked him a bunch of questions and then helped him out with how to edit the videos. Because even the videos he was uploading, he didn't have the quality setting right and all that jazz, so helped him with that. And that just got me thinking about Twitch and how easy it would be nowadays to just Twitch and then export to YouTube. Like that would be quick and easy, it'd be simple, it wouldn't use up too much of my data. I have time. So if I did a stream every day, I would get the series done in time. And then maybe I'd get a decent amount of people watching that'd be interested in it. And so far it isn't so bad. I think it's working out quite well.
Apart from that one guy who's really, really insistent on disliking as soon as possible.
Yeah.
Whatever floats your boat, dude. Okay.
Well, yeah, because I said, like if you're not happy with the series, don't watch it. Unsubscribe.
Or
Go away.
at least tell us.
Well, yeah, if there's something specific I'm doing, if you're like, oh, I don't like the way that you tell stories or this or that, really unsubscribe because I'm not changing the way I tell stories. I have a slow, methodical, slightly tangential way of telling stories, and that's just who I am. So. I know I'm not everybody's cup of tea.
The phantom dislike is always just slightly annoying to anyone who does YouTube or Twitch and is looking for feedback. Who's looking to start a conversation and it's just one guy who's like, fuck this guy. Like, why? Tell me what I'm doing wrong.
It's because I'm trying to remember the last time I disliked a video, and I have to say I was probably a lot younger than I am than now.
I dislike things that I get clickbaited into, which doesn't help at all because things like that usually have a ton of dislikes anyway. And I dislike things that are clearly giving out false information.
Hmm.
But if it's opinionated, I just leave it be.
You mean opinion-based versus fact-based versus...
Yeah, if it's somebody just sharing their opinion, even if I don't agree with their opinion, like, it's no reason to just hate on the guy. But if there's someone coming out and saying, oh, crippling slash is the best warrior elite because it does the most damage, you're like, well, it doesn't. You're wrong. Dragon slash does the most damage.
I remember people just losing their shit sometimes about arguments in Guild Wars, about things that we couldn't know for a fact at all. Mini pets increase your drop rate. That was one that came up all the time. Dunkoro specifically steals your money.
I think that was a joke.
That was not a joke. That was not a joke. Trust me. The amount of times people said it, and
every hero steals your money.
Yes, but it was like, kick him out of the party. I'm not gonna do this mission with him in the party.
You know, that's extra funny based on how much money you were even getting from Nightfall, and then compared to like the 2 hidden treasures that you went and got like 5k out of them. Like the entire campaign you got maybe like 8k total, and then you do 2 out of the 20 hidden treasures, you get like most of that back again.
Oh, you bastard, you're gonna send me somewhere else, aren't you? You fucker. I hate this part. Go here, go back. Like, turn around. No, you're not getting in. Fuck you, game.
That's why it's a long walk.
So I watched the 2.5 hour long video you sent me about
Oh, you did?
Fallout.
I didn't expect you to.
That took me
It
the
must have
whole
been good
day,
then.
by the way, because I was watching that, reading an email, watching that, reading the news, watching that, doing this, watching that, doing that. Oh, so fucking hell. It took forever to watch that, man. It was a good video. I agree with most of it, but the argument is a bit flawed.
I just like the way he presented things, and having not played it myself, because of the reasons that he was mostly stating, you know, I was gonna be quite biased towards it anyway. Like, the way I see Fallout is, it has RPG roots, and I want to play it because it's an RPG, and Fallout 4 tended a little bit too far towards shooter territory for me to really agree with it.
This goes back to that D&D thing I was saying the other day about nesting. It's really good for nesting. It's a really good nesting game, and in that way it is an RPG.
It's an RPG in that sense, but in a different way than I would want to play an RPG. Because I'm not a fan of nesting. I want to put money and skills and improve my character rather than where he lives.
And you can do that. You can ignore 99% of the settlement stuff. And the game's perfectly viable.
Yeah, but the RPG aspects of character building were way simpler than they were in 3 and especially New Vegas. Like, just being able to level indefinitely and pick up every perk, that in itself, I don't want to say it ruins a lot of the game, but it certainly dilutes it.
Yeah, but this goes back to what you thought like this series was going to look like before somebody gave me an Elite Warrior tome, right? In that the perks aren't to do with your final character, it's the character you build throughout. So the game's like at level 20 is dependent on the order you get the perks. I'm level 90 and I still don't have all the perks, and I've played the game for I don't know how many hours. And I've played through the game more than once.
Here's a question. At some point you are going to be, theoretically, you are going to be maxed out and you are going to have all those perks, if you have the time for it, blah blah blah. But if you were to make a second character, would you know, okay, I want this and this and this early because these 3 things are really good and I want those to be able to get these next 3 things?
The thing is, you know the answer to this question because you know I'm a min-maxer.
For you, yeah. But then for
Memlo,
most people,
stop
would it be
healing
similar?
my fucking minions and come fucking closer to Master fucking Togo. You dumb piece of shit. Like, come on.
Melo's got time for this stuff.
Okay, we're all together now. Can we...
But yeah, that's the thing with Fallout, is that with Fallout 4, is that there is a clearly optimal path, and it's kind of hard to deviate from that without really forcing yourself to be a bit nerfed.
There's an optimal character progression if you're a min-maxer who wants to use rifles, who wants to, you know what I mean? Like, there's a style of the way I play the shooter that is what it's influencing.
Right.
But if you prefer sniper rifles, my optimal path is completely different.
I don't know. It just didn't have what I would have hoped it had, and most of that comes from just removing skills. Yeah, pretty much. And the dialogue was garbage.
The dialogue thing is a bit of an odd choice, because essentially they're doing the same thing as Guild Wars, right? Guild Wars doesn't have choice. Not Guild Wars 1 anyway. Guild Wars 2 has the illusion of choice. Which I've gone into before. You know, it's like, oh yeah, you totally have a choice. Do I though?
Yeah, but coming off the coattails, that's wrong. Um, being a descendant of previous Fallout games that have based themselves in having a quite robust speech tree, and New Vegas in particular having the ability to use different skills in combat to pass speech checks. Essentially knowledge checks, because you know something about medicine and can bring that up and pass a check for it. Now, taking that out really removed a layer that I quite liked.
Yeah, I mean, he talks about the ship, right? And how that the ship actually had that mechanic, and I agree with him. There should have been more of the game that did that.
I'm not saying Fallout 4 is a bad game. I'm just saying it's a different game, and I didn't like the direction that they chose.
Yeah, no, it's sort of like,
It's like Guild Wars 2. Guild Wars 2 isn't a bad game, but I can't take it very seriously anymore. I have to only look at it at face value and not really read into stuff anymore, because it doesn't go well. At face value, it's fun. I can play it. You know, when the new stuff comes out, I play that and I enjoy it. But if I try to analyse it, I just get really annoyed and can't anymore.
so yeah, so I'm still on the fence about the expansion. What I'm gonna do is I'm definitely gonna start in the next couple of days playing Guild Wars 2 again, trying to rebuild my character, figure out what the skills are, figuring out the story and how far I want to progress through it, etc., etc. And then if it goes well, then when this series ends, I can just jump into that series playing Guild Wars
Well,
2.
what would be the plan jumping into Guild Wars 2? Would it be playing a current character, or would it be making a new character and going through?
From a nostalgia perspective, I don't think I need a new character because you can replay through big chunks of the
You,
content.
you can't replay through the original story stuff,
Oh,
though, but
that's
would you
right, you
want to?
can. Yeah, would you want to? No, but I might go through the entire game. Like, it would be a shorter series, but a series with an open end, right? Because it would end in living story. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Living world, sorry. So I think that's
Also,
interesting.
if you do take the time to go gear out a Guardian in Ascended stuff is account bound, so you would technically already have the gear for the next upcoming character ready to go.
Hmm?
So you could do work towards that now if you really wanted to, but I don't know, that's up to you.
Yeah, I'd need your help or Flail's help or somebody's help, Sean's help to.
Most likely Sean would be well up for that,
Yeah.
because I don't know about fractals and gearing up anymore. I just run with whatever I've got, and if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Which I've yet to run into. It just works, usually.
Alright, so here we are at Tanaka Temple. And I think we've reached the end of the stream. We're up to almost 3 hours. I'm really happy with the progress we made today. think I think the series is a lot quicker than I thought it was going to be. I think the end game of the deep is a really good place where we're going to end, but I think we're going to get there sooner than we think. And part of that's my
Are
fault,
you...
because not knowing it was going to be so quick.
But are you gonna go do the deep after factions, or after Nightfall? Not Nightfall, either North, or after Prophecies, either North?
After both, yeah, after both. Like it's the
So it's the final thing. Like
yeah, it's the finale.
that's the yeah.
Because it's my favorite thing. It's my all-time favorite thing. It's what I played Guild Wars 2 so long for. So absolutely, that's going to be the end game. Alright, so here we are at Tanaka Temple, and I think that's where we're going to end the stream. Thanks you guys for watching, and I hope the guys on YouTube like the series so far. If you have any negative comments, please make them. Let me know, and we'll see what we can change. And if you have any questions or comments, just put them down. Like so far, I've been enjoying answering you guys' questions, and I reply to pretty much every single comment. All right, so I'll see you guys next time.